wherever and whenever you are. And everyone's in the right place. Yes. Success. Welcome back, as I'm lurking here in the shadows of my brightly backlit corner of my room here.
We're in the underdog proper now.
Indeed, actually. Welcome by. Thanks for coming by. And hi, Des. Hello. Okay, so let us get back into things, as we had a rather eventful end of the session last time. Although, you know, I have been trying recently just to make things a bit rather eventful every time. I sat down and I was thinking, hey, we're on adventures here. there should be some shit going down every time.
One of us is gonna die every episode.
I was just gonna say, trying to say you're gonna kill someone, or
just be a DM playing the NPCs.
Yikes.
I've been thinking I enjoy killing.
That last session sat really well with me, guys, and I get to expense. You get to meet new players as people cycle through, or old players get to try new character types, new classes. It's like,
roll a d4 for me and let's see which of you survives.
Suddenly the underdog just becomes sick with adventurers just roaming the passageways, looking for people
it's like
to.
Mount Everest down there.
Oh jeez. All right, so let's.
It says that yellow cloak guy. You take a left at him.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so let us give a few happy shout-outs to those people that come by, as we like to call them, the VOD Squad, for checking out our stories if they can't be online with us here. Thank you for catching up and sharing this journey with us whenever you get the chance to do so. And also, big shout out to Syrinscape for providing the platform to deliver the lovely music and sound effects that will be coming your way, with extra music coming from Dark Fantasy Studio. And then over on YouTube, the RPG music maker Travis Savoy, and also Epic Journey. And on Patreon, Will Savino. Please check out the information on our YouTube VODs if you want access and the names and spellings to search for those fine people and get their music and stuff in your games too. Travis Savoy, the RPG music maker, actually just did a video where he was actually on camera as opposed to just the songs that he uploads all the time. And he has a spectacular mustache. I was very impressed. It was a great handlebar effect mustache. It was incredible. And he has amazing.
You want to rival Stevens?
Even Stevens got the full beard. So I mean, a flame cannot be held to. But yes, it was impressive. Now, not as impressive as the beard world championships. That's definitely worth a Google sometime. There are some incredible displays of facial hair out there. Anyway, I digress. We should have you go. Actually, in this adventure, all going well, if you survive, you do end up in a dwarven hold at one point. So the dwarves could be having a beard off as this happens. We shall see.
Yeah, we go.
Watch this space. Anyhow. Yes, Travis Savoy is famous for his incredible original soundtracks for Curse of Strahd and Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, which are really, really good tracks to have in your game. And also, at the moment, he's working on Tomb of Annihilation, so some great kind of exotic, jungle-y vibes coming out of his creative space, which is all good. Now, let us get back to what was going on last time down here in the Underdark. Oh yeah, it was lovely times. Yeah, little picnic, just comparing hairstyles, facial hair, and you made your escape, looking and searching for the opportunity to use the keys that you had managed to pilfer, and maybe a chance to use insider help as a disgruntled elite guard, having been shunned by the matron mother of this outpost, was looking to embarrass them and deliver you to freedom and thus knock them down a peg or two. But his aid, seemingly about to happen, was interrupted, shall we say, as some hideous demons, one looking like a huge kind of vulture-looking thing, and another like a strange, almost human-faced mosquito, bloatfly, nasty-looking thing. These creatures came screeching and droning into the space, into the cave above, zipping in and out of the stalactites and attacking each other before realizing the delicious morsels and snacks that were on offer below and diving down on the outpost, which, Silver Linings, gave you the ideal opportunity to use the keys, bust open the holding pen door, and make your escape. A couple of the drow guards tried to intervene and stop you getting your freedom, but they were not successful. And leaping from the waterfall's edge, you all plunged down into the icy pool beneath, and dragging yourself up out of the water, prearranged destination in sight, you started stumbling and making your way towards the western tunnel, leading away from this ravine that was the home of the drow outpost of Velkenvelv. However, we have a new overlay today, a somewhat streamlined, thinner overlay with slightly less windows, slightly less characters than last time, because as you went to make your way out and off into the Underdark, up from the water, a grey, gelatinous ooze erupted up out of the water, crashing over like a wave, breaking onto your satyr cleric, Ning. And she froze in space, captured like a fly in amber in this gelatinous substance, as she felt it start to burn and eat away at her physical being, as the acidic nature of this creature started to slowly devour its prey. You rushed to her aid. Elora, you reached out your hand as she managed to force one of her hands free, and she grabbed on, but as she did so, the remnants of the creature on her skin started to burn you too. And seeing that, she quickly withdrew, despite how much you tried to hold on, how strongly you grasped at her, wishing, hoping that you could save her, do something, anything. But she let go. And she chose to let go, as she had a vision of her god, for she was a cleric of Ilmater, the god of suffering and perseverance, one that preaches taking others' suffering on yourself in their place. And Ilmater encouraged her to be strong, to take this suffering on herself, thus allowing you, her friends, to escape. Zakan, with all of your experience in the Underdark, and Ignatius, your combat experience, realizing that the demons, as one of the vulture-looking ones, crashed to the floor, injured from above, but still alive, and started clawing its way towards you, just bloodlust burning in its eyes, and you saw the elevator-type contraption start to lower down, with drow guards and Quaggoth muscle coming to recapture their wayward slaves. You knew that there was nothing to do. There was nothing else to be done but to flee. To flee and leave Ning here. As much as Laura, as much as Eldith called out for her, cried for her, she had to stay. And she had to be left behind. And you made your way through the dark gash in the wall, the jagged portal into the Underdark proper. desperately scrambling over the broken ground, helping each other, helping all of your fellow prisoners that had escaped with you. This motley band of Drow, Myconid, Darrow, Sverfneblin, Dwarf, all wanting to get home, wanting to get away from Velkenvelv. As you head deeper, further into the Underdark proper. What kind of order do we have? Ignatius, are you taking point?
I think I was the first one to leave. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, which way would you take it? I think either Zakan with his local knowledge and guiding abilities would be up front, and you would be like making sure that you weren't followed.
Yeah, actually, I was pretty sure I was pushing people out, like trying to
Right.
get them going.
Yeah, I think you would be a better rear guard.
So above the din, like Zakan lets their hand and shouts, "We must move quickly and make as much ground as we can." Makes like eye contact with Ignatius.
Yeah.
The rear, leave no one behind. And just charges into the tunnel.
Okay, Ignatius, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, I follow behind and I just start making sure nothing else is following us and trying to make sure we got everybody except for the one.
Okay. Elora, what are you doing?
In between us.
I guess I'm in front of Ignatius, and he was pushing us all of us through, so I'm running with probably Eldrith and Darren.
Okay. Yeah, Eldith is almost inconsolable. She's just weeping openly, and you're just like supporting her, just carrying her along. As her and Ning had a special bond that they had formed during the time in the camp, helping each other out, looking out for each other, and she's a scout herself, not much like Zakan, and she just feels so bad, so much responsibility for losing her friend and not being able to help her as she had once before. The others look shocked as well. Everyone's just kind of slightly shell-shocked, but happy, that kind of mixed feeling of relief as well, as everyone's trying to get away and move through the space and get out into the caverns proper. And you make your way along this slightly leaning, jagged tunnel with the rock closing in close above you. Ignatius, you have to kind of duck and watch your horns quite a lot as you're making your way through this small opening. And you follow this for quite some time. Up and down, it goes up for a while. And then suddenly you find yourselves on a ledge with a huge yawning space off to your left side. And you look down and you see this amazing sight that none of you had seen. You'd been brought into this place, into this location from different directions. And as you look down, you find yourselves looking on top of, for what all intents and purposes, looks like a forest, as you see gigantic mushrooms towering up from the cavern floor, far, far below. And the whole scene is lit by pockets of bioluminescence as the mushrooms are glowing, and you can see this forest carpeting the floor of this massive cavern as this ledge that you are on carries on across and further into the tunnels. Ignatius, can you give me a perception check, please?
It is 12 total.
Okay, thank you. It
Definitely be
seems...
keeping an eye out ahead of them as they go.
Yeah. It seems like the Drow and Quaggoth that had been apparently chasing you, pursuing you, they must have been waylaid by another demon or the one that was already crashed to the cavern floor back near the outpost. At the moment, you cannot hear any sign, any kind of pursuit. And you think, it's best to keep moving, definitely, and put as much distance between you as possible. But for now, you seem to be free.
Looks all clear. Anything up there?
For the moment, but Drow will regroup their forces and they will send out a party after us. We must travel for as long as we can before we run out of exhaustion and find a place to shelter.
Yeah.
Does anybody know where we're going?
Bullets of an idea, and we'll rely on our Quetta friend here to guide us at least to the lake, and familiar surroundings I should know.
I'm afraid then,
Go.
until we get closer to the lake, I am not going to be of much use. I know that region very well, and up to the area around my fair city. But until we get closer to Slupludup, I cannot be of much assistance. Once we reach Dark Lake, then
All right, my friend.
I can tell you where to go. But
And it's actually Sarith, the drow that was with you, held, accused of murder. He actually moves past some of the Smurf Neblin and makes his way up to you, Zakan, at the front, and falls in, keeping pace with you. And he's like, Zakan, I believe that I am the most knowledgeable about this area. I have traveled extensively between all of the outposts. Where is it that you wish to go?
Aiming for Dark Lake, and then following that, perhaps to Blindenstone,
You could hear
to
something.
get as many people along the correct, well-traveled paths as we can.
At this strange sort of noise, you kind of look down to your left and you can see some strange kind of subterranean bird-like creatures flying between the mushrooms, squawking loudly. or over Stephen's shoulder. Either way.
I'm just helping Syrinscape, that way you don't have to manage all the sound effects.
Could you tell them to just pipe down until some more Vroks come? They can do the Vrok impressions for me. Okay. One of you needs to get like a bird
sort of
familiar.
nods in a sense.
Yeah.
Steve, someone, I can't remember who was saying.
Level
Someone
3
was,
comes around.
someone was saying to me on, I think it was on I can't remember if it was on the Discord or on Twitch or something, that we need you to be in a Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign, full-on pirates campaign. Just bring
Just have the
bring the
parents.
burbs, bring the burbs to the fore. Time to shine,
yeah.
time to shine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll go find
So-
like a real rainbow macaw. Yeah, so Zakan, nods sort of in assent to what he's saying, and we'll rely on your knowledge of these routes, and in the meantime I will make sure that we are free of any dangers that the Underdark presents.
yes, we must be very careful. All of you.
Turns back to address the group, and as long as you follow my light, you will not be lost. Just stay nearby and trust in the light to be found.
Everyone nods nervously, but just relieved to be away.
And we will not be affected by difficult terrain, and the group cannot become lost except by magical means. And I remain alert to danger even while doing other tasks.
The DM crosses out swathes of the module's text. The not getting lost thing is very useful because normally,
Except by magical means.
normally you have to check every time you set out after a short or long rest, and then if you get lost, you lose d6 hours. And then that just buys you another chance to check. So, yeah, it's pretty vicious. And
It's very handy for this campaign in particular. It's
Very
not a
much.
super useful feat in various campaigns when you're going all over the place, but for this campaign,
true. And I think, I will reread that section just to make sure, because as you can see on Roll20, my name is Phaserus. I try to choose a nickname for each Roll20 campaign that is something that's prevalent throughout the story, something that's in the setting. And Phasris is a particular type of magic that is saturating the Underdark and has some interesting effects around the spot. And we, so I'll double check that none of that the chance of getting lost is from the Phasris, because that would still break through that, wouldn't it? Because it's mad.
And I think it does have that, except by magical means, like right. So that it's not just you could never become lost ever. It's just you can't naturally become lost. Khan just has a sense for the Underdark and the tunnels. And
does the Khan do parlor tricks? Because it has to be by magical means, so he can just like put a sack over his head and still not be lost. It's just like just walking squarely.
Your intuition.
Wait until level 3. It's funny you should mention that.
I will make you walk into various stalactites and things, though. You won't get lost, but you will get hurt.
So just for those who don't have dark vision, the light that Zakan produces is bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet, which should cover our small group, I would think.
Is that controllable?
Everyone.
Can you put a lid on that if you want to?
Oh yes, it can be covered, and it can be stopped because it's a cantrip. So particularly if there's any sign of pursuit from Ignatius, or if there's any skitterings or signs of motion beyond the darkness that would indicate Underdark dangers, it would just immediately be extinguished and shush the group.
Ignatius, are you the only one without dark vision?
Yep, I think so.
Right. So yeah, you're just
as long as you're within 40 feet, you'd be able to see.
Yeah, something.
So luckily you're a big strong Minotaur boy. So you're not scared of the just fathomless inky blackness behind you.
And there was some like a bioluminescence.
Yeah, by the forest here, yes, but not everywhere. If you
so
run into
a kind of color it to match that, like
that's a good idea.
Pale blue.
Nice. And I think if you can cover it, you could partially cover it too. So it's like becomes like a hooded lantern kind of effect.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a random encounter as you're making your travels throughout this place, as there is a chance to do so, you will have to roll a dice, and it's 50-50 whether the area has light or not. So we'll see how that goes.
Very handy cantrip to have for Zakan, the light bringer.
Also known as the DM's ability to take your tank out of the picture for a second. At least for a short round. So.
Just touch Ignatius and make him a lantern.
Let's see here. Who... So I'm just trying to think who... Yes. I think Prince Derendil. The unfortunate elven prince, polymorphed by an evil wizard after his family's titles and name, polymorphed into a vicious-looking Quaggoth, but with all the mannerisms and speech of a noble-born elf. He reaches out to you, Zakan, and he's like, "Anna, my dear Zakan, I must take some rest. That whole affair was quite frazzling."
Injured.
I'm sorry?
Injured.
Not as such, no. Just need to catch my breath.
And actually, you do see Sarith.
How long has it been since we've left?
I'd say probably like an hour or so you've been going, I'd say, at this point. And you actually see Sarith as well. He's leading, as he promised he would. He's up the front, leading the way, and through and away from Velcomvelv by the most direct route possible. And you do realize you do pass various passages going off to either side after you get past this giant forest and back into tunnels, and occasionally it will open up into a slightly larger cavern. Some of them will have faint glowing patches of mushrooms or moss kind of growths on the ceiling or walls, and then others are just pitch black where your light comes into its usefulness. And Sareth also looks pretty rough, and he's kind of coughing and wheezing and kind of holding his chest, and he's like, "Yes, if we could maybe rest a little, let us, how you say, get our ducks in a row."
Sort of looking around the crossroads. Nods.
So,
I'd like to find a
take a
safe
short
place
rest
to
here.
rest as well.
sorry, Laura.
I'd like to find a safe place to rest as well.
Yes.
So after a short moment, you do find.
Look for something that's at least a bit sheltered.
Yep. Okay, give me a survival check.
Sure. Just to provide them some semblance of cover.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do we have any healers with us
Not anymore.
anymore?
I can provide minimal healing, but powers are greatly reduced. Yeah,
Shusha-
survival check is 14.
Okay. Shushar also says,
I can have a look and see if I can help anything, but I don't have any healing magics as such.
I see.
and okay, with that, Zakan, you do find at one point a nice kind of small cavern off the tunnel that you're following, and the entrance to it is kind of tucked behind this outcrop of jagged rock, which if people were pursuing, if you were being quiet and people were pursuing as quickly as possible, you think there's a good chance that they would pass it by.
Zakan indicates it, and they say, "We rest here for a short time. No lights. Keep conversation to a minimum. I will stand guard." And sort of nods and goes off to basically where the pursuers would be coming from, and is going to just stand watch.
Okay. So yeah, you stand vigilant at the entrance to the small cavern as everyone gets inside and kind of hunkers down on the ground and kind of collapses there. Just sighs of relief and exhaustion. Because remember, the drow had you pushed to the limit already at the camp. They were keeping you tired, keeping you exhausted, so that you would be not in the best condition if you ever wanted or attempting to escape.
So
Ignatius, you're fine.
extinguishes their light. The beefy boy.
And the most recently arrived.
No light while I'm Zakana's standing watch as well, because you can see fine, and hopefully the group listens to staying in place.
I think Stool, the little myconid sprout, will kind of just like doop, 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 plods into the middle of everyone and does that little pirouette move he does. And you see these tiny, there is a faint glow as these tiny bioluminescent spores just go whoosh throughout the space. And everyone's become accustomed to this now. So people are just like, they're just moving into the cloud and taking on these rapport spores, which allows everyone to communicate telepathically for an hour. Also useful if pursuers are coming by. So all just sat in there having a conversation. It echoes down the tunnel.
Very good. Very, very useful.
The drow just like, oh, they're over there. Yeah. So you are free to talk amongst yourselves without any language barriers and silently, which is not 2 words. Sorry. Sorry. Dramatic pause in the middle there. Silently. That's another NPC name for us. He's a rogue, Silent Lee. What's this guy called? Like that? Yep. What was the other one? Damn it.
So this cavern is just.
Yep.
It's just a dead end. Like there's nothing in there.
Yeah, it's just a cave,
around,
little cave. Oh yeah, please give it a check. Yeah, you.
Just to see if anywhere creatures could sneak in or anything.
Good idea. Good idea. Give me a perception check.
Okay. That is a 13.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see any fissures kind of leading into the place or any nasties lurking up above. And this is, and then Zakan turns off the light. And you are no longer able to do that. But
Okay.
you had a good look around before he did that.
In that case, I'll sit down kind of close to Zakan by the entrance and start polishing my regained axe.
So,
Our
As-
stuff back then.
yes, this is the first chance you have to actually look through the items. We see each of you, basically you have like a burlap sack basically that had your gear in it. It was stashed in these Zerkwood crates in the armory there. And also you have another couple of items, I believe. Ignatius, what do you have slung on your back?
I have a new shield. It looks like a spiderweb.
Yes, this
Stolen from the
kind of
drow.
slightly glinting steel spiderweb shaped shield, yes, is slung across Ignatius's back. And Elora?
I grab some rope.
Okay, so yes, Elora has a coil of very light, almost gossamer like spider silk rope, but a good 100 feet of it. That would be probably quite useful. And Zakan?
And thanks to Alora's efforts, Zakan was able to get some caltrops, a
Yes.
bag of caltrops to
Which-
inhibit pursuers.
Just occurred to me in my mind now. Can they be little steel spiders with their legs all over the place?
They absolutely can and should be.
Drow caltrops.
Yeah.
So you, hunker down, and as you open up these bags, you start to pull out your various pieces of equipment. Now, each of the fellow prisoners that's with you, they didn't have any gear as such. They weren't adventurers. They were just locals for the most part. Eldith had lost her gear before she was captured. Because she fell into the Underdark. She was not adventuring down here or scouting down here on her own volition. And you managed to grab weapons for them as well. So if there is a combat, they will be able to pull their weight. Except for Shushar, who is a adamant pacifist, and will not raise a flipper in your defense, I'm afraid. But the others, and I'm pretty. Those first Nevlin look pretty nasty.
They do some.
Those pointy teeth. And you start to look through your things. Is it right? Are you doing that as you're on guard there, Zakan? Or are you going to wait for later?
Yeah.
I mean, do you? Well, you
because I
equip,
think
you equip the things that you need to equip.
they
right?
can remain alert. Yeah, I did.
Sure.
Yeah, so they've been kind of fixing a variety of things back onto their
Mhm.
person, and it's 3 separate poles, pole type weapons that look like they were fashioned down here. So there's a spear, a javelin, and just an intricately carved staff with what appears to be writing on it. And at
Nice.
the moment, they're holding longbow as they look out into the darkness.
What alphabet is it written in?
It is written in what people may or may not recognize as Celestial.
Nice. It's like, to my dear Zakan from Tidra. Have at him, chap. Okay, excellent. By the way, I was telling Sylvie before, Ning is no longer with us, but I was curious as to where her god's realm was, where the afterlife was. And I looked up Ilmater in the wiki, and Ilmater's domain is in Bitopia, the same place as Tidra. So I thought that was nice little parallel, which happens all the time. Like
Flash of that.
for people watching, I love running the modules and I love using the official lore just for finding ways to weave it into the story, and then things like this, these little parallels that just randomly pop up. I'm just gonna say, my wiki delvings have made me very excited to dive into Elora's backstory. So,
Yeah, I found some stuff as well. Yeah.
Yep, and some parts which
the Phoenix
inadvertently.
Milwaukee cinematic universe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Marvel and then there's me.
It's real close. That's real close.
Yeah, I've kind of hobbled myself a little bit with Rime of the Frost Maiden because that's 3 years in the future, so I can't do so much shenanigans with that. There have been slight crossovers already. The Halloween one-shot we did last year failed to kill a monster, which then found its way to Icewind Dale and attacked the Tuesday people. So, all good stuff. Now, yes, Ignatius, you are quickly donning all of your gear and probably finding some kind of level of comfort and solace in getting your weapons back. What are you brandishing?
So right now I have my great axe out, and I'm just taking care of it, making sure I didn't damage it or soil it with their fingers. And then
From things that you overheard, it sounded like you were headed towards some sort of arena kind of fighting pit style thing in Menzoberranzan. So they looked after it pretty well actually, because they wanted you to be fighting fit when you were time to start the show, as it were.
oh, cool. Can I go back then?
So that sounds pretty sick.
But other than that, I have just a couple.
You'll have the chance to use it. Don't worry.
like a javelin and spear, and a new shield that it's more of a trophy than anything.
Okie doke. Yes, yeah, this drow shield. I wonder if this will give you like a +1 or something on persuasion checks. He's like, look. It's like, sorry. This is, I don't know if this is off color or not, but it's you're like some of my best friends are drow. I swear.
It's from the dead, cold hands of all time.
Which they probably respect.
Yeah, probably.
And Elora, what are you drawing forth from your pack?
So on my back, I have my long bow, and then across my belt on my waist, I have my short swords and my dagger. And I'm just kind of like fiddling with my dagger in my hand. Laura's still really angry at herself, so she's kind of like, as she's sitting there thinking, she kind of like stabs her dagger into the ground angrily, thinking about how useless she was in that situation.
You feel a firm grip on your shoulder, and you kind of look up, still kind of angry and venting, and you see Eldith's face, still framed by that hairstyle that Ning gave her, although a bit ragged and bedraggled after plunging into the pool and escaping from the drow camp. I know. Me too.
Just doesn't feel right.
We need to carry on her light. She had so much joy. Even here, even down in this place.
I'd like to bring some of that with me, but I just don't know if I'm capable of having the same positive outlook on everything that she had. I don't know how she did it.
I know. She was... Much as Sakan is a source of physical light, she was a source of spiritual light.
Can't get that moment out of my head of her letting go, but I guess I just have to believe this this is what she wanted. She would want all of us to be happy right now.
I know.
I'll do my
And-
best.
The best thing that we can do is to make sure that her sacrifice wasn't wasted. We have to get out of here. We have to get Stool home. We have to get this Neblin home. I don't want to take that drow home. He can fend for himself. I don't think he wants to go back there either, but
I know Ning would have wanted to see us all go home and be safe. So
yes.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure we get all home safe.
Yes. As will I. Let us promise each other right now. We'll see this through. We'll save these people. She extends her hands to you. You clasp. And she walks off. She was walking. She walks off and goes to check on the twins. You know, the Sverfneblin twins. See how they're doing. And then you said you pulled out your dagger and short sword.
Mm-hmm.
There is another sword hilt in that sack, is there not?
There's a broken hilt in that sack.
An ornate pommel and crossguard with the jagged edge of the broken blade. Where did that come from?
should I say? So it is a very, very special ceremonial sword.
Mm-hmm. Not too much details, okay? Just a geographical location from
Geographical from Mithranor, yes.
Yes, from your home city of Mithranor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take that out too?
I very stealthily and sneakily put it away into my pack.
Well, before you do that, and Zakan, I think you noticed this. Being vigilant, and you don't really need to look out of the entrance to this cave. It's your hearing that's mostly important here. So you're kind of looking over this group that you've fallen in with, this group that you know Tidra, your angelic guide, would want you to steer back to the light. Although some of them don't want to go there. or the dark, you know, whichever they desire. But to get them home. And Zakarn, as you're thinking on this and looking over the group, you see Elora pull out this sword hilt, but with a broken blade. And as she does so, you see her take a pause and stare intensely at the sword hilts for a moment. And then she kind of like shakes her head and puts it away. Now, by way of explanation, Elora, as you drew that sword hilt out from the burlap sack that you had rescued it from Velkomvelv in, you heard a voice. There was a voice in your mind, very much like when the others are speaking to you. So you instinctively looked up to see who had addressed you, but then it wasn't any of your comrades' voices. You've heard them all speak. You know what they all sound like. It wasn't any of them. It was a kindly female voice.
Hello?
You just reach out in your mind. Oh, you've brought me close.
Who are you?
There are those that call me Dawnbringer. Please, you must make me whole. You must bring my parts together. I implore you. Find me.
You want?
Find me. Make me complete once more.
What do you want? Where would you go? How would I find you?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? The voice fades and disappears. At which point you shake your head, thank you. Continuity is held, thank you. And you shake your head and just put the hilt away.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, looking forward to diving into your backstory.
So curious now.
I was on the cusp of doing so.
Now Laura's just kind of dazed out, it's not angry anymore, just really confused.
Ignatius, any fighting force as ragtag and ill-trained as this motley bunch looks, any fighting force, as you well know, marches on its stomach. And you are all without any kind of food or water. I think your leadership training, your military training would kick in here.
Good point. Fortunately, I'm not very good at survival, but if anybody else, I'll approach Zakan while he's sitting there taking watch. Just ask, anywhere we could hunt or look for water, sustenance, keep these people moving.
Yes, it will be the first thing that we find, as our escape didn't allow us any time to make things. I can arrange for looking for those sorts of things and can maintain the group. My skills are not necessarily those of charismatic variety.
I can ask around, or maybe a few of us can go out and keep the others safe while we look for anything.
Now,
I believe you to be the most capable martial combatant here, so it'll be up to you to fend off things. Largely, you did yourself quite well during the escape.
hello.
Thank you. You as well. In fact, I think everybody did quite well.
Here are your charges. But everyone on Roll20 there with you.
Oh, there they are.
Hi. Let me just pop the grid on here so I can align them up nicely. Oh, thank you. You don't get all the names. I've got all their names as well. It's just okay.
They are barely at the moment in shock, still on the excitement of their escape, but as the darkness continues, as hunger and exhaustion sets in, it will become more difficult to manage. I have not a very long time managed such a large group as this.
Eldith stomps over to you there, Zakan. She's scowling at you as she comes over. Excitement? Is that what you call it? You enjoy losing party members?
Take no pleasure in what happens in the fortunes that happen down here, and that I could have stopped it, I would.
I'm sorry. It's just... Ning did so much for us. I am also accustomed to searching out food and water. If I can be of assistance, I will.
And I will rely on your help while Ignatius and the others in the group when we do find shelter for longer rest.
And
Must.
I need to have a short conversation here with you all about mechanics. And bear with me, because this is something I'm kind of learning as well. This is the first time I've done this kind of survival style exploration kind of, journey. As Stephen, you'll remember, our last campaign was somewhat confined within city limits, as we were in Waterdeep. And there are things that Zakan would be able to convey to everyone in character, which I shall say out of character. As you're traveling here, at the start of each day, you need to decide your pace for that day. You can travel slow, medium, or fast, which will determine how far you can go. And Zakan, as you well know, the terrain down here is often very difficult, and there will be times which, for the sake of the length of our story, we shall be glossing over and treating, purely in the narrative. But there will be times when you're using the rope that you rescued and you have from the adventuring packs that you already had with you, and using your gear. And there are, the terrain of the Underdark, the landscape of the Underdark is as varied and mixed as the surface world itself. Whereas they've got soaring mountains, here you've got plunging valleys and deep chasms, and the forests here are echoed by these giant fungal forests that prop up from time to time in the caverns. And there are rivers and waterfalls and all of these different challenges to overcome. And as such, even at the fast pace, you can only go 8 miles in a day. So it's not very swift progress, I'm afraid. A normal pace will have you at 6 miles per day, and a slow pace at 4. Now, if you're moving at a fast pace, you'll have a -5 to your perception. So the risk of blundering into dangers and monsters and creatures and the like is increased, but you will put more distance between yourselves and your pursuers. Traveling at a normal pace has no negative effects, and you are able to forage as you're journeying. Moving at a slow pace will lead to a easier chance to forage, more chance of gaining food and water, and will also allow you to stealth if you wish. But as I said, it slows you right down. Now, Shishar, the Kuatoa mystic, tells you all that it should Shishar wouldn't know, until you get closer. The drow, your drow friend, too many names, Sarith. Sarith tells you all that it's a 8-day journey to the Dark Lake and the Kuatoa city, which I believe is where you were first headed. Yes.
I think it's the first kind of
we should have that conversation.
That's closest to us.
I mean, we should have that conversation, shouldn't we? It was briefly mentioned in the slave holding pen, but it wasn't particularly decided upon. So basically, as you're all talking, and I'll do this out of character to save me cycling through all the various voices. if you'd like to jot this down in simple form. First, basically, we have Bupido. Bupido is the talkative Dero, and he knows. And this is. I mean, I have this noted down as well, so you can always ask me this anytime to double check. He knows how to get to Gracklestug, the Durgar city. He can get there from Dark Lake. At the moment, he's not sure where you are, but if you get to Dark Lake, he could take you to Gracklestug, and he wants to go there. He tells you that it's a great place to get better equipment. The Durgar are famed metalsmiths, and Zakan, you've been there, right? You were in the foreign quarter there.
Yeah, I think it's one of the places.
Right, and if you're ever looking for a place, I think actually was it you, Zakan, that got that gem? You scavenged a gem?
Oh, yes.
Yes, yeah. So if you're looking for somewhere to sell that, or if you're looking for somewhere to resupply without having to forage and look for better gear, that is probably the best place to do that. And Bupido, extorts the values of the amazing blacksmiths of Gracklestug. Then we have Prince Derendil, who is on the rocky cavern floor equivalent of a fainting couch. Just like dabbing at his neck with a handkerchief. Oh, my dear Lady Alora, please take a seat. You're exhausting me. It's just like he is useless. You'll be surprised to hear.
As expected.
Yeah, being as he is elven nobility, he desires to return to the surface and back to his people, but does not know anything of this location or how to get there, I'm afraid. Eldith, the dwarven scout, is in a similar situation. She doesn't know the Underdark. She hasn't traveled extensively down here, but she does have her natural scout instincts that will be useful for survival checks and the like. She recommends getting back to Gauntlgrim, and there are connections from the massive dwarven fortress into the Underdark, and she knows that would be a potential point of exit and chance to get back to the surface world, but she does not know how to get there from where you are. And Sarith doesn't know either. They don't, the drow steer well clear of that. Well, one drow in particular doesn't. It was Dritzt Dwarden, the famous drow adventurer, and his band of adventurers that cleared out the monsters that had taken over Gauntlgrim. And the current king of Gauntlgrim, is actually one of Dritzt Dwarden's old adventuring pals. The dwarf from that party became the king there. Sorry, little lore dump there. Jimjar, our favourite little wheeler-dealer gambling friend, Sverfneblin, he has two things. He's originally from Blingdenstone, which is the Sverfneblin city, but he's not particularly fussed to get back there. He's just keen to see new places. He wants to go and look around. He's really interested in going to Sloopledoop. Sorry, Sloopledoop. Excuse me, I'm gonna just butcher that name every time. Sorry. He's very keen to see Sloopledoop and other
difficult language.
He's never been to Dark Lake. And he's very keen to see new places and travel with you guys and make a few wagers along the way, I'm sure. And he's also he actually speaks up and is very keen to get Stool back to the Myconid civilization. What was it called? Hang on. It is called Neverlight Grove. Hey, there we go. Jinx. Yes. He wants to get Stool back to Neverlight Grove. He seems to have a slightly paternal nature about him and is worried about the wee little Myconid sprout. And they do actually hang out quite a lot. And he's like, as you're traveling, Jimjar is actually looking out for Stool quite a lot. Sarith.
Sprout's his brother.
Sarith is the other one who is very keen to get Stool back to Neverlight Grove. And he knows the area best. He can navigate to any of these locations, basically. And he recommends going to Neverlight Grove because he knows that the Myconid Sovereign, the leaders of the Myconids are called Sovereigns, the Myconid Sovereign would undoubtedly be very welcoming and generous if you return this Myconid Sprout, but also just as a people, they're very likable and welcoming. Then we have Shushar, the Kuatoa mystic. He's most familiar with Dark Lake, and he can, once you get to within 3 miles of Dark Lake, he'll be able to navigate for you and help you in that particularly treacherous area of the Underdark. And he recommends going to Sloopludup. I think I've got it. I think that's it. I'm sticking with that one. He wants you to get to Sloopludup, A, because he thinks that's the best place to acquire rafts and boats to navigate Dark Lake, because that whole area is completely flooded. Just lakes and rivers and waterfalls and all sorts of aquatic environments there. And also he wants to spread the enlightenment he has found on his journey through the Underdark to his fellow Kuatoa. So he's keen to get back there, and that's the direction you're headed at the moment. Stool is just very homesick and just wants to get back to Neverlight Grove, but has no idea where it is. Is completely lost, and just wants to get home. It's home to Mushroom Mama. And then finally we have
a child.
Yes, he's a little child, indeed. And finally we have Topsy and Turvy, the Swerfneblin twins. And they are from Blingdenstone, but as you talk about it, and as Jimjar talks about it and stuff, and Zakan, you talk about your time there, they don't seem very keen to go back. And you know that they were off on their own, adventuring on their own, as brother and sister when they were caught by the drow. But they will go with the decision of the group. So, as I'm looking at the layout here, left to right, Ignatius, what is your goal here? What do you want from this? How do we... Orangey! How you doing? Welcome. I can assure you, you can rest easy and watch this stream. There are no mimics in the vicinity. There are also no paladins, I'm afraid. Sorry. But yeah, thanks for coming by. And thanks for the other nights as well. So, Ignatius, my Minotaur friend, what is it that you seek? Now that we've kind of settled into the characters, we've got to know them a little bit. What is it that Ignatius is looking to achieve?
I mean, his main goal right now is to get back to his, if there's anything remaining of his regiment, and also get back to his home so he can possibly warn them or seek action, revenge against the drow.
Mm-hmm.
His main goal is just to get back.
Sarith, as you talk about this, Sarith, the drow that's with you, looks curious. He's like, oh, you had fellow fighters that were with you?
I did.
And what
Saw
is
many
it?
of them go down.
What is it that happened?
We were doing a normal patrol, minding our own business, and we were ambushed.
That is the normal way of it.
Apparently,
And-
they were targeting us specifically.
Well, if you are anything to go by, you are a formidable force and would have been highly prized in the markets of Menzoberranza. You say you saw your comrades go down. Was that to drow poison?
To be honest, I don't know. I was in the midst of battle.
Was they
Captured.
Was they cut down? Was they cut open, grievously injured? Or was it a suspiciously rapid fall from single or a few wounds? It was.
Suspiciously rapid, yes.
Ah. Then I think you should stay down here a little longer, my friend. Your unit, your colleagues will not be dead. If if I know anything about my fellow drow, they would not waste such valuable property.
Do you know where they would be keeping them?
It is difficult to say. You have clearly been separated because you are a danger to be held together. But I think your former comrades would find themselves in a similar situation to you, my friend. They will be held in other parts of the Underdark, and likewise would have been headed for Menzoberranzan.
Thank you for telling me this, but I must wonder why a drow would seek to help me.
I am drow in body alone. I have nothing back there except a ritualized murder, or sacrifice as they will call it. I do not know what happened to me. As I was telling our departed friend, I do not have memories of that night. I do not know what happened, but if it is true, I suppose it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if it's true or not. They believe it to be true.
But isn't that your way? Wouldn't you prefer to go back and take revenge upon those who accused you? Or get to them some other way, take your place back?
I am not a vengeful sort. Fuck them. Fuck their religion. He looks around nervously. Fuck Lolth. He kind of smiles. That felt kind of good. And
Well then,
you know, and Zakan, you would know. I think this communication, this is kind of like it's like this is a group chat, you know, basically. The spores have connected you all, so there's no like individual conversations happening. You know, this is just a shared communication space, and all of the Underdark residents are all just like, is it? Oh no, he did it. And everyone's like shocked, and Zakan, you'd know. Like, for a drow to say that, like, there are very few drow that would dare speak up against even their immediate superiors, let alone the goddess, you know, their spider goddess.
As much as anything, that verifies somewhat your disconnection from the typical drow population and your business in separating yourself from them. Such words would have you executed in Menzoberranzan and in many cities in the Underdark.
I am already marked for death, so what do I care?
Desperation can make quick allies, but perhaps unpredictable ones as well.
Yeah, and just from that alone, you know that his feelings are true. Like even as in an attempt to as a deceit. Like, no drow would say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's his take. And again, he reiterates that he wants to get Stool back to Neverlight Grove, and he also extols the hospitality of the Myconids, and he knows that the Sovereign would be a very gracious host.
Child will have the hardest time surviving down here, and it is
Just to clarify,
their own safety as well as ours.
That's Sarith coughing, not me. Just want to make that clear.
It's not part of the character.
Yeah.
Walking through, we're socially distanced.
That is. Everyone has their nice spider silk mask.
yeah. Use my shield, just put it on my face.
Yeah.
6 feet away.
The best kind of face shield. A massive steel one. So that is Ignatius's thought, and a little bit of news for him. Elora, you are next in my view of things. How are you feeling? What's your goal? What's your immediate desire?
Well, after having experienced that tragedy right now, the first thing on Alora's mind is seeing to it that everyone gets home safely. And then once she has seen everyone reach their home untouched, then she would like to get back to her outlaw band, the Green Dagger, outside on the surface world, where I'm sure they're worried about her.
Yes. Yeah, and you think back and wondering if your friends are okay, because there was a few of your outlaw bands that were with you when you were venturing down. And I don't know if Chris and Stephen have heard this. Elora was taken as her and a few of her outlaw band were exploring a newly formed crater to the east of Baldur's Gate as they attempted to explore the caverns and tunnels that had been revealed by the sudden disappearance of a little town called Elturel. Speaking of that shared universe, Stephen. But Elora, you remember you were grabbed and taken in the crater itself. You hadn't actually managed to go into the Underdark. You had camped, I think, in the crater, trying to decide which of these promising-looking caverns hadn't been picked over already. And that's when you were camped at night, that's when the drow grabbed you. And you know, at least one of your group was killed in that experience. But one thing to note, sorry, I meant to say this before, that's the first time you've drawn out that broken sword in the Underdark. Okay, because you were taken and all of your things were confiscated in the crater of Elturel. You had never seen that, and you had never held that in your hands in the Underdark, which is something for Sam to think about. I'm not sure if Elora would think about that or not, but yes. Don't worry, you are playing this game as the players. Using meta knowledge to your character's advantage is something, but to having theories and ideas of your own is highly encouraged. Now, thank you very much. Zakan, what is it that our Aasimar friend desires?
The same as they've been charged with for the past 100 or so years, which is to those who are lost in the darkness to the light, either metaphorical or literal on the surface. So this is just a return to form with a bit more. It's now from Tidra, and yeah, they are weakened. They've spent the past 20 years probably in and out of a variety of drow prisons and fortresses and things like that. They've been treated well physically, but they are back out and feel that they are on the correct path. They're energized to get them all where they need to go.
Okay. And just to clarify, Elora, so you're thinking of getting the Underdark residents home first and then carrying on. Oh, thank you for the raid, Xander. Thank you so much. Welcome. We're in the Underdark.
Oh,
welcome,
hey.
welcome down here.
Nice.
Good to see you. Thank you. And so yeah, Elora, you're kind of wanting to get the Underdark residents back to their various cities and things, and then I think basically Eldith, and then you guys are the only ones from the surface. So
Yeah.
it is much easier to grab Underdark residents than it is to risk going up to the surface and grab surface dwellers. Okay, so thank you very much. That is good to know. Now, as just do a little thank you there. As you are...
Whatever the exact amount of short rest time is, 15, 20 minutes or something.
1 hour.
Or at least 1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour is a short rest.
Yeah.
Short rest.
So yes, Eldith says, and reiterates Ignatius, what Ignatius was worried about, and Zakan, you'd also know as well, that yes, you do need to get food and water at some points. Thanks for the follow. And we are having a wonderful session, Xander, thank you. And I hope you did too. Thank you for the follow. Now.
No one's died yet this session.
No, it's
going great.
Yeah.
Good day.
So this is our 4th session of this new campaign. So 25% mortality rate. It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty healthy. Hanging in there. I think I've only I've been DMing for about 3 years now. Still relatively new to this gig, but I've only like permanently offed 3 characters, and it was all
okay.
And it was all for scheduling reasons. One person had to go back to America. We're in Japan, Xander and friends, as you're popping on by here. Welcome. We are in Japan, I say. 2 of us are in Japan. A very multinational group here. We have Taiwan, Japan, and New Zealand in our game here. I think you should have proficiency on your survival checks and stuff anyway, Stephen, as you're in the home of Lord of the Rings. Right? You will go.
Just overranging.
Right, you just go adventuring every weekend, right?
Odin, the mighty Odin approaches.
Exactly how it is here.
Okay. Do you, like, every morning, whenever you head out shopping or head off to work, do you do that meme of Frodo running out of the Shires and saying, "I'm off on an adventure"?
Oh yeah, and the nearest supermarket, we have to like travel along an alpine ridge. It's very, very dramatic.
Yeah, it's good. They always have the helicopter camera units or the drones to film you while you're doing it. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
People say it's a waste of money, but we're proud of it.
So, yes, you know that you need. Everyone can go. Now this is diving a little bit into the rules here. Let's get a little mechanical here. You can go for 3 days plus your con modifier with a minimum of 1 without food. And then you start to gain levels of exhaustion, after several of which you will die. So, food is definitely an issue. And the good news is, you can go half rations. So if you're doing half rations, that counts as only half a day having not eaten. So you can go double your length of time. So even the lowest con mod person in the group, which is definitely Stool, I think, or Prince Darren, or Prince Darendil. Yes, Stool does require you to compost some of your leftovers for him. He just at night he just goes and sits in the compost. He's like, bitter. That would give you. I mean, even the lowest number would be 4, right? Because it's a minimum of 3 plus 1. So if going at half rations, that would be 8 days, and it's 8 days to sloop it up. So you can get to Dark Lake, no problem. If you find the food in the first place. Your group, I sat down.
We can forage while traveling at a normal pace?
You can forage and travel at a normal pace, and that 8 days is based on the normal pace. Now.
Yeah, no.
Is that actually a police car, or does Odin do impressions?
I mean, yes, he does, but that one's a real one.
Okay.
I'm surprised he's not mimicking it.
Everyone, dear viewers, big jump in view. Welcome everyone, raiders and everybody coming by here. If you get the chance, once we're finished, please do stick around. But once we're finished, do jump on YouTube and look up David Attenborough's Lyrebird video, because it is incredible the noises that bird can make. Absolutely incredible. So David Attenborough Lyrebird, check it out later. Okay. but stick with us. We have about 30 minutes left to play here. So to restrain and gaman shiro, moskoshi da yo, moskoshi, as I speak Draconic, and
Draconic.
yeah, Draconic in my games is Japanese for the sake of my children, because I play D&D with my children who are half Japanese and half English, but as far as linguistically concerned, they're about 90% Japanese and 10% English. So for the sake of us being able to play together, I made Draconic Japanese in all of my games. So if they come across some friendly Dragonborn or Kobolds, then they can chill out for a while and just hang out and speak Japanese, which is fun. Anywho, he says, digressing. I did the math. I crunched the numbers. You need 12 pounds of food and 12 gallons of water for this motley group that you have here. So, a pound each, and a gallon each. So, let us do the rolls, okay? Let's actually use some dice here. So, I think you were doing a fast pace at the start, but I think for the rest of the day you're going to switch to a normal pace. Or would you like to put one day of fast pace?
If over this hour of rest and our original movement and stuff, we haven't heard any signs of being pursued, no, I would say actually Zakan probably pushes for a fast pace.
Okay.
And sort of leading things with the light, they move at a very fast pace, very concerned about getting as much distance as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. So, could you, Zakan, and anyone else who is not involved in keeping a lookout. I think we have someone in chat who's played this module. Someone's just went, stool! Yes.
Stool.
The Myconid sprout is alive and well.
We will protect Stool.
Yeah.
At all costs.
He's our main priority.
What's that meme? Yeah. It's like, we've just met Stool, but if anything happens to them, we'll kill everyone in the room and then myself. It's like, must protect.
Exactly.
So, yes, anyone who's not concentrating on keeping an awareness around them and watching out for dangers and things, you can make a survival check to try and gather food.
Zakan, I think, would say,
Eldith.
If you will, help me look along the way.
Yes. Eldith is also going to join these efforts.
Mm-hmm.
I can indicate which things are edible and which are not.
Yes.
And
be careful.
Which tracks to look for. There are edible lichens and growths that will sustain us until we can receive more proper rations.
And Zakan, you also know that if you kill beasties, if it's consumed within that same day, the meat will be good on a majority of creatures. Say again?
Waste not, want not.
Exactly. I have a very handy little table here. A tiny creature will give you 1 pound of food. A small creature, 4 pounds. A medium creature, you'll start looking hungrily at the Minotaur, will give you 16 pounds.
Nice, very nice.
Chris, the Swerfneblin and the Darrow approach, teeth gleaming in the dark. Steak, steak, Minotaur steak.
I mean, I'll probably eat them first, so.
He's like, oh.
They can try.
A snack, don't mind if I do. Oh. Okay, so, Eldith.
So, after discussing where we're going to go and everything, sort of comes back from their watch point and says, we need to move on, and I know we're all tired and things have been hard, but we will need to move as fast as we can for as long as we can.
Indeed. Okay.
Tenacious.
So can you give me...
and the others, if you can, keep an eye out for danger and for any sign of pursuit.
Zakan, give me a survival check, please. Eldith gets 17. How'd you go?
Oh boy, that's going to be a 24 in total.
Nice. All right.
Having a feast today.
Yes, so you do. I'm gonna say you're gonna do half a day because you can't forage at a fast pace. So half a day of fast pace, half a day of normal pace today. Okay. And so at the end of each day, each session, I'll calculate how much you've traveled, how much closer you've got, and we'll do all that numbers and stuff off stream. So please give me 1d6 plus your wisdom modifier. So I can't.
6.
And I should do the same for.
And then I
Eldeth.
gather twice as much while foraging.
Oh yeah. Sweet.
So that's 7 total.
Okay, and it's that plus your wisdom. Oh, with the plus to the wisdom as well.
Yeah, so it's a 4 rolled and then a plus
Gotcha.
wisdom to make it 7.
Okay, so that's 14. Okay, and Eldith gets 6. And another one, please. Another d6. Same as before.
So that's 6 in total, so 12.
Okay, and Eldith got 5. So okay. So during this day, during that first part of the day when you were foraging for food, actually I think you did the fast part first, right? To get as much distance as possible from the Drow camp.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So you're just
People are getting tired and
as you start to slow down just naturally because everyone's exhausted from the forced labor that you were put through in the camp, and you start to slow down and start to look around, and you find several very delicious things. You find a nice collection of barrel stalk, which is a large cask-shaped fungus which can be tapped and drained of fresh water which is inside. And then it also yields food as well from the body of the fungus. There is some blue cap as well. Blue cap is called the grain of the underdark. It's not edible itself, but the spores can be used to make flour and things and made into bread. So that's kind of mixed with water and makes this kind of strange, very slightly unpalatable, but it will get you by paste to eat. And also you find some ripple bark. Now, to look at, and Alora, you kind of like wrinkle your nose at this, and Prince Derendil certainly does. Ripple bark is a shelf-like fungus, bracket kind of fungus, which, from all appearances, resembles a mass of rotting flesh, quote unquote. So, but it is surprisingly, again, quote unquote, surprisingly edible. And it can be eaten raw, but it tastes better roasted. Okay, so you find these various mushrooms, and you drain water from these barrel stalks, and then later on, get that. You don't find any rivers today, this day. But in total, if someone would like to make a note of this, you get 20 pounds of food and 17 gallons of water.
All right.
Yeah. So I think, Ignatius, you've got like one of the big barrel stalks. You just got one of the barrel stalks on your shoulder. You're just like carrying that along, and just because I think everyone will have like water skins and some containers to carry water, but not 17 gallons worth, I don't think.
Yeah.
So leave some of it in the barrel stalks for later. And you, you make your way, again, as I said before, these twisting, jagged rock caverns and all kinds of spots that we find, and these beautiful vistas of these large open spaces with these amazing stalactites hanging down. And sometimes you see a forest, like I said, carpeting the bottom of a cave, these mushroom-type forests, which are inedible. This is where they get those zirkwood mushrooms, where they have the timber-like flesh that they can use to make furniture and barrels and the like. And you sometimes come across eerily glowing caverns as these phosphorescence and bioluminescence things are glowing, little blues here, greens, purples there, as this eerie, otherworldly landscape passes by as you're making way through the Underdark towards Dark Lake and Spludrup. I think I lost it again. Damn it! That name.
Supladorb? What'd you say?
I think it's Spludrup. Sloop. It's SL. Let me hang on. Let me put it in the oral 20 chat, and everyone can.
Slew blued up.
I think so. Yeah.
Blue.
Where's the chat? Chat. Here we go. Sloop blued up. Sloop blued up.
Sounds
Okay.
Swedish.
That's getting clips.
Sloop
later.
blued up.
Sloop blued up. Sloop blued up. Sound like Teletubbies. Okay. Now, as the mysterious missing fifth Teletubby. Sloop blued up. In the Underdark Kids programs. And so, as we are making this journey, this first stage of your travel towards Slubrudup, there is a chance that you'll run into some of the denizens, locals of the Underdark here. So, Elora, will you roll me a d20, please?
I got a 17.
17, thank you. And Zakan, the other, please.
All right, let's do that one. 4.
4, okay. Must be because of your panicked dash and the high pace that you are maintaining during the morning. But during your escape and your hurried journey through the Underdark, I need one more d20, please. Elora?
Ignatius? Hello?
Actually, yeah, let's spread the blame. I was gonna say spread the.
Everyone's equally responsible for how bad this is gonna go.
I was gonna say spread the love, but yeah, spread the blame definitely.
Yeah. Was this just a d20?
Yes, please.
A 2.
A 2. Okay.
Great numbers. I'm sure these are all very good.
And there's one more d20 to roll, so I shall roll this one. I do love me these random tables. Okay. So, I need
So
you.
many dragons.
I need you, dear folks, to organize some kind of marching order.
That's never good.
No, this is going to be. I want you actually down to decide. So look at the splash screen here. Okay, this is who we've got. Okay, so who is where? Okay, so let's say the left is the front. So Ignatius, are you at the front? Or you at the back, weren't you?
No,
So
I'm
let's
at the
leave-
back looking.
Yeah, so let's leave you there at the back. That's the back. So Zakan, are you
So
up front?
Zakan and Ignatius sort of bookending it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me copy you, fine folks. Let us. No. Sorry. No, mistakenly. I went to put you on a different map and clicked one of the tags at the top. I don't need Dropbox. I need Roll20. Come back to me, Roll20. So, dear viewers, how you doing? You alright?
Zakan's probably brought Eldeth along with him.
Mm-hmm.
In dwarf eyes.
What do your dwarf eyes see?
But it's
And-
dark as shit.
It is. It is indeed. Is that up to 60
Does
foot?
Eldeth have
Quite a
dark
lot.
vision?
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, she good. Come back to me, Roll20. We need you. Okay, that's the chat. Don't need the chat. Sorry, that's pretty out of sync for you guys.
Character while that's going, Zakan turns to Alora as they're sort of walking. Says, your arm, the one that was injured.
Who was injured?
Yeah, you had the acid burn on your
Go
hand.
on when you.
Me. Okay, my injury. Yeah. I think I'm fine after a rest. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, Zircon still takes it, and their hands light up briefly, and a wave of very, very slight healing magic will roll over.
Oh, thank you. I didn't ask for that, but I appreciate it.
I was healed myself before I had my grievous injury, and it seemed appropriate to pass it along.
Sylvie
Thanks,
just
Nate.
texted me and said, "The spirit of Ning says hi and sends some light to all of you, wherever."
Very appropriate timing.
Yeah, the light. Just, I feel Ning's spirit in my hand now.
Ning.
I wish I would have worked on my magic more now. With all those magic lessons as a kid.
Yes.
She chose to take the injuries on herself and the danger on herself, which is admirable, but must remain vigilant. Injuries can lead to worse very quickly. Careful with your own body.
Sure, I'll be more vigilant from now on.
Sort of nod and go back to the front.
I guess because Ignatius does not have dark vision, I'll probably be in the back with Ignatius.
Gotcha. And if you have any requests for how the others are aligned in the middle, I'm open to that.
And Zakon and Eldith at the front. Who else? I guess we'd probably keep Stool in the very, very middle, protectively.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah.
I would like to
I'll
keep.
keep Sarah near the stool. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to keep Sareth next to me so I can just kind of keep my eye on him a little bit.
Yeah.
A good idea. Because everyone else is at Khan's back, so trusting to keep an eye on everyone and keep them in line.
Yes. All right. So, I am just getting set up here. Sorry, do bear with me. Need to put me in here as well. I remember. Oop. And give you sight. Yes.
This conversation that they had during the rest, did it emerge that Topsy and Turvy had been sort of adventuring
Yes.
about in the Underdark?
Yeah, they have been. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they've been moving together, and they left Blinkenstone, and were traveling together, just as brother and sister, and then they were captured.
So Zakon points to them and says, "You two have some experience outside of the cities of the Underdark."
No, we haven't really been anywhere.
Within the safety of the towns.
Not really. We were just in Blinkenstone, and then, just kicking around Blinkenstone, and then out here in the tunnels.
You know how to keep your eyes about you, aware of danger, movements, sounds.
Aye, we always do that. You see there, Ignatius, now? Everyone has sight, okay? Yep.
Yeah.
I can see. Yeah.
Oh yes,
Just double checking.
cap is loaded.
I do love all this dynamic lighting and the stuff with Roll20, but it can be fiddly sometimes. I'd forgotten to make you all visible to myself, so I could, the people at home could see what's going on. Okay, so yes, let us arrange you. So we've got Elora and Ignatius at the back.
Control now.
Eldith and Sareth was with you as well. And
There,
then
this is Ignatius.
Jim jars with stool. The twins are together. They'll probably be in the middle. And we have Lupido. Lupido is his fast friendship with Ignatius as they were on guard duty that time together. And Prince Durandil hiding in the middle with the pacifist.
I was saying I was trying to keep Sareth by me if possible, just so I could like watch him or talk to him as well.
Sareth? Well, because Sareth is the one who knows the way.
Oh, he's the one leading. Okay.
Yeah, so he's the one who's guiding everyone.
Oh, that's fair.
So he was like explaining where to go for you guys.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Oh, kidoki. So, there we have that. Now. Where is... There you go.
20-year-olds, we're just for fun. Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I just want to see, you know, I like numbers, you know.
Just it's how much money we get. We find a bunch of gold just hanging out.
Yeah.
All right. So, there we go. So this is our 2x2, and later I will need to also sort out a single file marching order as well, because some of these caverns get very close quarters. But this is our 2x2 for now. And so yeah, you are making your way west to east on this map here, with Zakan and Eldeth at the front. You're going past this little patch of glowing mushrooms and stuff here as you're making your way through these tunnels and caves. And you start to feel a rumbling. And you'll excuse me laughing to myself, ironically. Laughing to myself as today of all
For all the
days.
chaos you're about to inflict.
No, today of all days I used the earthquake effect. As it is 10 years since our little corner of the world was almost washed away. You feel this rumbling, and some small rocks and pebbles and things start to almost like move across the surface of the floor. And you kind of pause, and Zakan, you know, there's always a chance of cave-ins, and there's always a danger that this could happen. So, you kind of looking around and kind of looking for any signs of collapse, and wanting to warn people to get out of the way. So this, you start to feel this vibration. What happens? What do you do?
Is there any sort of like overhang or thing that would protect us from overhead, like an outcropping or anything?
Give me a survival check again.
Looking around. Great, 12.
Okay. There's a little section that looks like it might give some cover. I mean, this is a slight tremor. It doesn't feel huge, so it's just a slight kind of movement. So you're not overly worried. But you think, yeah, there is somewhere that could possibly, if needs be, could be used. And you are just... Sorry, go for it.
They point to it. They say, there, drop, cover, hold. Wait to see if it gets worse. Stay near the wall.
Okay. So everyone is kind of like looking nervously and looking around as you're feeling this tremor coming through, and then there is a almost explosion of rock from the right side there, near where you are, Ignatius, near those mushrooms there, as Zakan, what you know and what the other residents of this area will know, an Umber Hulk bursts from the wall.
Oh,
Hello!
So good. So good.
As this large insectoid-looking creature just chews its way through the wall and explodes out into the cavern where you all are. And for the first time in our campaign here, proper, I need some initiative, people.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da.
Remember, kids at home, if you feel an earthquake starting, drop, cover, hold.
Drop, cover, hold, yes.
Holy
The
cow.
cons. The cons advice.
That is the New Zealand Earthquake Commission's official advice. The doorway thing is a myth. Doorways are no longer the strongest part of any structure. Find a table, find something that you can get under to protect yourself from falling debris.
There we go.
And hold. Wait until shaking stops. Do not attempt to leave. Shaking, you are to stay put.
There we go. Thank you. Okay,
It's
I'm going to
19
add you.
for initiative.
Please select the number next to yourself and add your initiative there, please. How fast is our beastie? Not very.
Know that these are just pure, aggression. Once they spot something, they're going to attack and hunt it.
Yeah.
It's not like a we leave it alone, they leave us alone.
Yeah.
I got a 24.
Nice. Rogue. Peak rogue.
ready to go. Light on my
Topsy.
feet.
Topsy's up there with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep Stool out of this. Non-combatant. Shushar is also...
We do not allow Stool to battle.
Yes. Shushar is also pacifist, so he's not doing anything. But the
Well,
others...
Shishar, don't help or anything, that's fine.
It's like,
We respect your fish religion.
thank you. Alright. So, let me deal with this rather hectic bunch. I think we'll see how this goes. I think in future, if this gets just silly, in future times we might designate ourselves a few more non-combatants. Okay, so descending,
Just act as a unit or something.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Need
Just
to-
roll one for all of them.
Yeah, like Matt Colville's got some like mass combat rules and things. Okay, so
Nice.
as this creature bursts from the wall, this is like just comes out for you. Elora, your instincts kick in, and you are first. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna pull out my longbow and I'm gonna attempt to shoot it.
Okay, you're like,
While also moving closer, so eventually I could get it with my sword.
you're like, Pepito down. He's like, I'm tiny already.
Everybody duck!
It's like, we're all like everyone at the back there is tiny, so you're okay. You just like open shot across
And
the.
I could see the D&D Beyond roll. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Oh yeah, I rolled a 15.
A 15 does not pierce the armor. The chitinous plates of this creature are all kind of clacking together and like surrounding its form, and your arrow is drawn and loosed, but it just ricochets off and clatters off into the darkness.
No.
Okay. And any movements or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get closer.
Okay, please feel free.
Yeah.
So each square is 5 feet.
I guess so that I'm within a 5 feet distance. 5 feet.
So you're going to close on them. Okay, so
Yeah.
you kind of spin daintily around Ignatius's massive form there, and so you move your token across there. Would you like me to?
Yeah, it's not working.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Sorry.
So like to the south of Bapido. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
Okay, so you spin in there and draw your weapons as you Naruto run across the chamber. Okay, thank you. Topsy, what have you got? Topsy is right there in its face. It kind of just emerged, it just exploded from the wall right next to Topsy. So she spins around and lashes out with a short sword that she got from the Drow armory. And gets a natural 1. She's just like terrified. She's just like, ah! The fuck is that? But she has a couple of attacks, so she slashes out again and misses. A 5 and a 7. She's just like covering her eyes, and she's just like, it's like trying to wave the sword at this thing. And then Bupido Elora, can you give me a perception check?
Sorry, hold on.
Sorry? What's up?
I got a 17.
17. Excellent. Okay, that's high enough. You hear Bapido muttering under his breath before he goes into this attack. He's like,
You have made a grievous error. You shall not be successful against Dean Karazhan.
and for some reason shouts that, and then lashes out with a. Is he up in its face? Yeah, he's right there, so he doesn't want to get attacked by moving away. So he lashes out with this strange hooked spear that he got from the armory. With a natural one as well. I'm sorry, I'm only very good at rolling when I'm attacking PCs, apparently.
Yeah.
Against monsters, I'm not very good. Zakan, what you doing?
Zakan is going to move to an advantageous position with their longbow out. So
Yes.
30 feet. I do like 5, 10, 5, 3, about there. Is that alright?
Okay.
And then draws an arrow in the longbow as well and fires.
Okay. Go for it.
Bang. Oh. Easy beyond why. Decided I'd try it. That's only a 9.
Oh, sorry, nope, that's not enough. So as you're kind of, the whole group is kind of like panicking a bit and kind of scattering and moving around, suddenly, and you're kind of trying to find your shot, and you can't quite line it up through the group of your friends, and you do not manage to hit, I'm afraid. Okay, anything else? Bonus actions?
No bonus actions. We'll just
Okay.
stay there. Unless through like survival or something can know about any sort of it'd be weak to or resistant to or anything.
That would be more of an
Knowledge of the
action.
creature.
Kind of use your action to plumb your knowledge there. To
Yeah.
make an ability check like that is an action. So
So
I think.
wait on that.
I mean, well, no. To be fair, I mean, this is you're not like researching or anything. You wouldn't know. It's whether you know it or not. So yeah, give me a survival check.
Just things that they know right up front. Got it. Natural once, they don't know shit about it.
Okay. Yeah.
One.
You're like some creature has burst from the wall. You're like, what is that thing?
Looks
As everyone-
very unfriendly.
Everyone just like turns to you, it's like slowly, like the what? Because you're this local guide is like, oh, what is it? What is it? Okay. And
Are you worried?
now, here's something that
Doesn't
you'll
look
like.
friendly.
Sarith, the drow Sarith, being with little stool is just like running backwards. He's like, not sure what to do. Sarith just leans down and just pulls stool out of the way and deftly switches places with him. Throwing. He shouts to Eldith. He's like, you watch the little one. He must be protected. And he pulls stool out of the way. And if you are moved against your own volition, you do not get an attack of opportunity against you. So stool is okay. And Sarith charges in and flashes out with a short sword at the beast, and boop, misses. Only an 11, unfortunately. This armor on this beast is very, very heavy looking and difficult to cut through, clearly. And then Turvy, I think Topsy and Turvy have got this little set move that they do, like where one of them will just like pull the other one out of the way and they kind of spin around and they're kind of like in a rotation. And he's like, "Come on, sis, out the way, it's my turn." And he is going to lash out with his short sword. A miss and a miss. It was just like flurry of blows, but nothing's happening.
Clanging off.
Eldith like turns. She's like, "Stool, you stay there now, okay? This is not gonna happen again. We will not lose anyone else." And she charges in next to Sarith and brings up her short sword as well. Short sword is the weapon of choice. Miss and Second one. Oh, so I miss. Damn it. It was higher, but not high enough. These things are very nasty. I'm sorry, I rolled very high on the creature encounter table. Apologies. I got an 18 on the d20.
Boy.
Jimjar. Jimjar.
Yeah.
Okay. Des, thank you. Des is hosting us now. Thank you so much. Welcome, hosties. The Hosted. That's a good name. That should be like a cult. The Hosted. We are the Hosted. Hype indeed. To combat time, an Umber Hulk has just crashed through the wall from the tunnel and is attacking our poor adventurers. The horrible, massive insectoid beastie. Sorry?
That's a DPK.
Rawr, hello. Mandibles ahoy hoy. Okay, so, and as you are running here, I think Jimjar is gonna shout out to you, Elora. He's like, bet you I can get it done in one shot.
It's a bet I'm willing to lose. Go for it.
And he fires off a hand crossbow that he pilfered and misses. Okay. Ignatius, omatase.
Oh man. Okay, seeing this thing come out, you see all of his like comrades right now trying to attack and not doing such a great job. You see this like face come over him, just this presence.
Come on, big boy.
He starts raging
Yes.
as a bonus action,
Barbarian rage.
and then he runs toward the thing.
Pie for everyone. Welcome.
High five.
Pie for all.
Let me just make sure. Okay, so anyway, he runs toward him, getting over here, tries to attack as well.
Okay, you come charging around Delora there. And Laura, you kind of out the way. It's like a massive steel-tipped horn whistles by you.
So roll the 19 plus 6.
That'll do it. Finally.
And then, so I get +2 on my +2. Okay. So 6 plus 4 plus 2. 12.
Okay, so Ignatius, the Minotaur barbarian, starts pouring angrily at the ground. It's like just crashes. What kind of attack was this? Was this with a weapon or with your horns?
With my axe, yeah.
With the great axe. Okay.
Yeah.
And just with a massive whoosh, you know, Elora, your hair is almost blown back as the passage of this mighty weapon comes flying past you, and just crash into the back of this Umber Hulk, and you cleave a mighty gash in the chitinous plates, and it cries out, and just like turns on you, just looking furious as you do. That was a total of 12 damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and it is definitely going to turn on you for that. I was going to roll the dice to see who it goes for, but it definitely turns on you. And it is going to lash out with its claws. Lash! 14?
It's 15.
Oh, okay, so it lashes out with its claw, but you just kind of like put your head down into it and it just glances off your horn. Goes for you with the other claw. 15, so beats it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so as you expose your neck, the second claw kind of slashes across the back, and that is 7 slashing damage.
Slashing, and in my rage, I have resistance to slashing damage.
Yeah. Is it slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so that's reduced to 3, a mere 3. Although, not very high level, so...
Yeah, for first level, it's a lot.
3 is a lot right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then as it goes for you with its 2 claws, it then also spins and goes for you with its mandibles. Those clacking jaws come for you. And just shy, a 14. Missed. Okay, so that is that. And it's got nowhere to go. It's completely surrounded by this pesky swarm of little creatures that it wants to chow down on so much. How's everyone doing for time? Can we do one more round? We won't finish this combat, but can we do one more round?
I'm good.
I'm good for one more, and then
Yep.
I should go. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get sorted as well. I have vampire things to plan for this evening. Oh, and some lessons to teach and stuff. So, apart from that, Elora, your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to pierce it with my short sword.
Okay, look.
Now that I'm closer, and I totally fail.
Oh, bad luck.
I get an 8.
Oh, afraid not. Yes. It's not so much failing to hit. It's just that, you know, I think maybe you're slightly concerned that, you know, that Ignatius is charged in here. You don't want to hit him. He's being completely reckless and completely, you know, disregarding his own safety. So you're kind of watching that, and then again, you're just trying to find a gap in these plates. This almost like plate armor of the insect world. These chitinous plates are blocking your attacks here. Okay. And then Topsy quickly spins over her brother and slashes out. Oh, 23, yes, for 3 piercing damage. And again, 20 for 4 piercing damage. So a total of, okay, you just see Topsy just come spinning over. And because she's so low and so small, she's under there. She's on that soft, you know, delicate underside of the creature. And she just thrusts up with her short sword. Like, is it Sam with the sword with the Shelob? Was it Frodo? I can't remember. It's Sam, isn't it? Saving Frodo. Yeah. And he's just like up into that soft underside and gets 7 damage. Inspired by Ignatius's leadership, clearly. That was Topsy, and Bupido lashes out with that nasty hooked spear once more and gets a natural 1. Not inspired. And Zakan, your turn. Go, go, go.
So Zakan just notching another arrow and is firing it off. I'm going to use
I'm tempted to give it half cover.
Dice.
If it was a medium creature, I'd probably give it half cover for this swarm of people around it. But
oh yeah.
it is large, so it's sticking up above all of these little pesky things down here.
So that's a little better. That's 18.
Nice. Just hits.
Just hits. Okay. Good to know. Which one is my D8? There it is. It's max damage at
Nice.
10. And then they will mark it as a favored foe.
Ooh, okay.
An additional 1d4
On this turn or next turn?
on this turn, including when
Okay.
you mark it.
Go for it.
That's 1. 1 damage. 11 total.
Consider yourself slightly mugged. Okay. Where is that? There we go. Nice little bullseye on it there. All right. Thank you.
You're gonna stay right around here.
And yeah, you're staying over there. Okay, Sarith lashes out once more with their Drow short sword. 16 is not enough. Clatters off its plates. Turvy, inspired by his sister's amazing swordsmanship, comes spinning over. Just that barrel kind of rolls over her back. They're kind of like a little acrobatic duo, these two. They kind of they just know each other so well. And goes. Nope. 9. Oh, and 20. Okay, got it with the second one. Slightly nervous. 5 piercing. So the little Svirfneblin brother and sister twins helping out here. And I helped. Okay. And Eldith lashes out with her short sword. Miss and a miss. Clattering off this thing. I think she gets knocked aside as one of the insectoid legs smacks into her and knocks her to the ground. And she's like, ah! And the crowd's like, not today! Not again! And Jim Jar is like, you're doing it all wrong, you gotta do it like this. And he slashes out with his, fires with his hand crossbow. 19 hits, and that is 4 piercing as you see the quarrel of this crossbow just thud and go between 2 of the plates and get lodged in the Umber Hulk's armor. And Ignatius, your turn.
Oh. Nope. Rolled a 3.
3, okay.
Ignatius.
Unfortunately. Your military training kicks in a bit and you're kind of slightly concerned for your fellow warriors here, and you kind of pull the blow a little bit, and unfortunately does not get through the armor of this massive creature. Now, I think it's been injured by several people now, so it's definitely gonna... How many got we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you around it. So I am going.
Humane.
First, its claw lashes out at Bupido. Bupido's AC is 13, and it gets 25. Slash. Oof. 13. Oh dear. 13 slashing damage. And Bupido has 13 HP. Now, for these NPCs, I'm going to give them the same leeway that PCs have. They will get death saving throws because they have stories to tell too. But that puts him at 0. He is knocked unconscious as his massive claw, as equally hooked and vicious as the spear he wields, flashes out and just sends him sprawling across the floor. And let me put a little endangered token on him there. And the second one is going to go for, switch to D6 now. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up, the second claw goes for Sareth. As the claw lashes out. 26, that'll hit. Jesus. 6 slashing damage as a massive gash is opened in Sareth's chest. He's like, c'est alors. I feel much more comfortable doing that now Sylvie's not here. If you're watching the
Don't
VOD,
judge your French.
if you're watching the VOD, Sylvie, désolé. And the last one, its bite, is going to try and bite Prince Darendil. Oh, fair Lady Alora, save me. You're like, yeah, you're good.
You're like, no, die.
22. Well, everyone rolls over a 20. And that is 13 slashing damage. Oh, Prince Darendil is freaking beefy boy. Now, this is interesting actually. This will be a good thing for us to finish on here at the end of the turn as well. Sorry, I'm just neglecting the turn order here. As we get to the end of this round, it's a nice place for us to pause until next time. You see, as the Umber Hulk spins towards the prince, and he's kind of cowering and looking terrified, and it just lunges forward, and its mandibles pierce into the side of his chest, and pierce in and cause that damage, grievous damage. And he's like, and just basically hulks out and starts snarling aggressively, much like the name Quaggoth that he physically appears to be. And it seems that his Quaggoth instincts take over somewhat as he gets injured, and he snarls and spins on the Umber Hulk. And I'll pop him at the end of the turn here. And as he does so, he starts almost curling over, his back kind of curls over, and he snarls ferally at this thing. And he also lashes out with his claws for a hit and a hit. 2 claws just wrench into this Umber Hulk, causing 4 and 5, 9 slashing damage. He's just like, just gone completely bestial after being injured. And everyone is fairly taken aback. Like,
That's more like it. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, Laura's like, there we go. And thank you, Syrinscape. We
Such
shall
a fucking nerd anymore.
stop there. So here we are. We find ourselves in the midst of combat, but I'm afraid we have to pause things there. But everyone, do come back and join us again next week as we see what happens with this first fairly hefty encounter that we have randomly rolled for you.
Will Bupido bleed out?
Join us next time. But if you like this hobby of ours and are a fan of D&D, there is lots more for you to enjoy. Later on today, for me, tomorrow morning if you're in North America, we will be through the mists in Barovia for Curse of Strahd. They have resolved to head to Castle Ravenloft and try to rescue Esmeralda, that she was taken away by the Strahd's Count himself. Will they survive their first journey, their first visit to Castle Ravenloft? Do find out later on. And then tomorrow, Friday, wherever you are, it will be down in the Nine Hells as we are continuing our descent into Avernus. They have learnt of the location of the mysterious Mirror of Mephistar. And I know one Horvin, the Corvum scholar, who is very interested to have a chat with the Archdevil Mephistopheles. And on Saturday...
Yes, on Saturday or Friday in the States, which
Yes.
is their usual time, 6 p.m. California. Oh, do we have daylight savings time yet? No, not
no,
yet.
from Sunday.
It's on Sunday. Anyway, yeah, we have our normal weekly campaign
Yep.
of future D&D.
Where are they at the moment? Are they in the Shadowfell?
Yeah, it's pretty much just regular D&D right now. They're in Shadowfell. So.
It's this low tech environment at the moment.
Yeah.
I just had this image of like Madame Ava like pulling up a Taroka app on her iPad.
Her iPad, yeah.
Card reading app. Okay, so yes, please go and check out Carney Sideshow. Those that are on our channel over here, and those over on Carney Sideshow, do come over here, over to Phoenix Iweki, and check out all of our goodness. As next Tuesday, once daylight savings is kicked in, so beware, and I shall also do the same. Try and remember the time difference. We will be heading back to Icewind Dale to continue our journey into the Durgar Fortress Sunblight. And they have defeated the first guards they found, and also found a strange ally, and heard talk that there may be somebody here that could help them. As one of the Durgar guards pumped his chest and stated, "The ale must flow." What is going on there? Do find out. And then that'll bring us all the way back round to the Underdark once more. Whew, sounds like a lot when you say it like that. But everyone, do join us whenever you get the chance. Thank you so much for the follows. Thank you so much for the raids. Thank you so much for the hosting. We love you lots. Thank you so much. And do come by again if you get the chance. Give us a follow to get notified when we're going live. And as we like to say around these parts, matane. See you next time.
Not bad.